I think I might have a problem because certain things just hit me different. I got on here months ago and I said, black people stay out of these ICE protests. As protests have ramped up, as bodies have begun to pile up, the entitlement and privilege of other groups of people, as it pertains to black people putting their bodies on the line, has begun to show itself. And I keep thinking, wow, imagine for a second the entitlement, the privilege, and quite frankly, the disconnect and the dissonance of people. Because I think blackness has a weight to it. And for a while, I always wondered what that weight was. And that weight is memory and it is history. The history that this current administration is trying to take away from people. And here's why. Imagine telling the group of people who have been in this country before this country had a name, were the dead last ones to get rights in this country, have been disenfranchised, brutalized, victimized by this country before they even have rights, are the reason some people in this country and other people across the world have rights. Same group of people who fought, died, were tortured, beaten, lynched, hung, all these different things. Imagine telling the people and expecting the people who fought, died, went to prison, had to flee the country, all these things. Imagine telling those people, hey, why aren't you fighting? Where are you in this issue?
This is probably the most important video that I've made since I've been on TikTok. Black people, stay out of this ICE situation. I cannot stress this enough. Stay out of this ICE situation. It's a trap. It is a trap. They're trying to trick us out position. They're trying to trick us into the streets so they could do what they really want to do. And that's have a civil war with us. Stay out of this ICE situation, man. I'm telling you, I can see how it's all playing out. Even when the whole Charlie Kirk thing happened, the dude who killed Charlie Kirk was a white dude. They online going at us as if we did it. You know what I'm saying? Stay out of this ICE situation. Don't be in the streets. Don't be out there almost getting yourself killed, because all it's going to do is bring the rest of us outside, and that's what they want.
You know why you're not seeing a lot of black people out there protesting against ICE? You know why you're seeing predominantly white people only at these events? It's because back in 2020, the Democrats utilized the black demographic to go out and riot and act a fool. And they said, oh, if you just elect us, we'll give you reparations and we'll force the police to wear body cameras and all these wonderful, amazing things, right? So black people showed up like we are known to do, and we voted up and down for one side of the aisle. And what did we get for it? Nothing, as usual, because many of us never learn. But now, here in 2026, we're seeing individuals who were slavishly devoted to the Democrat Party. Now they're seeing the Democrats over their entire 4 years in office under Joe Biden. They went out of their way to ingratiate themselves to illegal immigrants. And they sometimes prioritized illegal immigrants, even in black communities, ahead of black American citizens. And black people are sitting there saying, wait, you said you were going to give us reparations, you're going to give us X, Y, and Z, and we got nothing for it. So the silver lining is a lot of people are waking up and realizing the Democrats are only courting their next prospective voting bloc. They want to exploit illegal immigrants for an entire generation, much like they've exploited the black community for the previous several generations. And they're daring you to call them out on that and see it for what it is. So if you're wondering why you only see predominantly white liberals out here acting a fool, rioting and protesting against ICE, it's because ICE is threatening their ability to cater to that next demographic that they desperately want to lock in for an entire generation.
I have been struggling on how to say this, and I made a video earlier, I took it down, but y'all are focusing on the wrong people. Y'all are focusing on why don't black people care what Trump is doing. We do. But we're focusing on us and ourselves to survive through this. What y'all need to be focused on instead of, well, why aren't black people actively protesting and doing all the things that they usually do? One, because we told you we're not going to do that anymore. Okay, we told you. Y'all didn't listen. Two, because we can't help you as much as the people you need to help you. Okay? You need white people. You're focusing on black people, you need to focus on white people. You need to get their attention, their compassion, their empathy, their social and political power. You're focused on the wrong people. You're focused on the wrong demographic. Black people don't make up the vast majority of this country. We don't make up the vast majority of politicians. We are not in the White House.
A lot of people think that African Americans are asleep at the wheel when it comes to ICE. And it's like, no, it's just that we've always been fighting against this. So it's like, it's not brand spanking new news for us. It's like the police have been killing us since like the end of Reconstruction, you know? Like the police have been targeting us, attacking us through Jim Crow, civil rights movement, into the current movement that we're in right now. It's always just been a constant thing. And I think it's like white people are just starting to realize that this stuff like kind of affects them, like the overreaching of the government and the overreaching of the police and things of that nature. It's starting to affect them.
Why aren't Black people showing up to the masses to these demonstrations? Why aren't we marching? Why aren't we chanting? Why aren't we screaming, this system is corrupt just like everybody else? I'm going to tell you why. Because when it was us, nobody cared. When Black people were being harassed, when our constitutional rights were being violated, when Black people were getting killed by the police on camera, y'all didn't protest with us. Y'all didn't believe us. Y'all didn't call the system corrupt. You asked for a backstory. You wanted to know what we did to deserve it. You couldn't just accept the truth that this was an unjust system targeting us because of our skin color. But now that ICE is involved, now that it's affecting you, now all of a sudden the government is evil. Now the system is broken. Now everybody wants to march.
So ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you are all doing good today. And on today's episode, if you are my follower, you could tell that I've done something quite similar as this. And most people will be like flooding the comments and probably wondering like, why do we keep on talking about these issues? So in recent occasions, we have seen how the ICE is affecting the United States of America. And the most part of it that is keeping everyone wondering is like the Black people. The Black people have distanced themselves with this issue and they don't want to be part of it. Okay, quick checkups. So ladies and gentlemen, on the 5th of November, that is 2024, the United States of America went on the ballot. We had Donald Trump, who was representing the Republicans, and we had Kamala Harris, who was representing the Democrats. So if you're keen, you would have checked what these two candidates had in terms of manifestos for the country, because I believe when you want to be a leader, you need to tell people, and you know what, this is the reason why I'm telling you to elect me. This is what I'm bringing on the table, rather. If you've checked Kamala Harris was going to address the economical factor of the United States. Where is the economy for the United States heading? Kamala Harris was going to mitigate on the ways of healthcare. And ladies and gentlemen, once you have tampered with the healthcare of a nation, everything is going to go amiss. Because without proper healthcare, how do you expect people to survive? In her campaign, Kamala Harris was so determined to review the rules and regulations that were governing the immigration sectors. Fine, you're an immigrant and you're in this country. How was it gonna be easy for you to retain, or rather to build up? Because we have people who have sought asylum. Others, they were born there. That is their home. That is where they've been like for the rest of their lives. So currently we have this group of people who are like really mad because the Black people are not going to the streets. You cannot see a Black person on the street saying, you know what, I this, I that. It's not that because they don't want to talk about it. They want to talk about it, but they've been telling you this for the longest period of time, and you did not listen. Everyone went to the ballot to vote for something they anticipated, and therefore choices have consequences, and those are the consequences that people are facing right now. And you guys, you can't keep calm. Like, you need to see like a Black person getting himself or herself on the road. And then what is going to happen? What is going to happen after that? We've seen a lot of protests in the United States, and we've seen how Black people are being mishandled. But right now, it's vice versa, and you want these people to put their lives out there for you. That is something that is really paining the Black community. And if you see them not bothered, it's not because they don't want like a better space for everybody. They're tired. They've been there. They've done that. They've tried to tell you, but you didn't listen. Yeah. That is a plain truth. So it's not like, this is not our fight. This is not, no. People are tired. Literally, people are tired because you guys had a choice, You had a choice to make things better. You had a choice to put the colorism aside, the racism aside. You had a choice to put all that aside and to get to evaluate somebody who was coming in with better ideas, workable ideas, realistic ideas. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, as they say, indeed, choices rather, they have consequences. Yeah, so we've seen like most of the Black people were talking about these ICE issues, and it's true. They're not bothered because they've been living like that since the colonial period of time, since the time that Black people are not even allowed to work, since the time that however much bright you are, however much of ideas you have, you cannot be able to mitigate them. You cannot be able to share them simply because you're a Black person, The times that even a simple education, Black people are not allowed to read. Yeah, so that is the pain that the Black communities are carrying. So brothers, sisters, thank you so much for coming across my channel. And if you're new here, my name is Yvonne. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much. Thank you for staying. To my new subscribers, thank you and welcome, and to be part of my online family. Please subscribe, share, and like this video.